Dark in here. I'm going to fire up the heaters, head to town, and pick up the last of the insulation for the ceiling. All right, get the one heater going. We got the bigger buddy heater going as well. So hopefully we'll warm this place up a bit while I'm in town picking up the final insulation. Oh, it's chilly out. 16 degrees above zero this morning. And like I said, I have to run to town anyway, so it's going to take me about 3 hours. It's the first time I've ever left the heaters on. So that's why I'm putting the bigger buddy heater on top of the table. I don't want that heat right on the floor. Should be safe there. We'll see when we get back. Oh. There we go. So it's 8:30 roughly in the morning right now. And pitch dark. But the days are getting longer. We're picking up about 3 minutes of daylight every day. Oh, I was up early. I'm always up early. I'm gonna head to the orange store. I'm gonna make a couple of stops. I'm gonna head to the orange store and pick up the final insulation for the ceiling. I don't think I'm gonna buy the R21 for the wall today because I still want to measure that out. I'm thinking it's probably gonna end up being 2 bales, and I really would rather it wasn't 2 bales. It's an extra $100, but it's worth it. But this is the first time ever I've put the heaters on and left the property. I think we're fine. I don't think I'll have any issues. Everything's above the ground. Nothing in there is close enough to burn anything. Short of a major earthquake, they're not falling, and if they fall, they'll go out on their own anyway. So 8:30 in the morning, and my temperature gauge on the truck says 14 degrees Fahrenheit. So the rest of the roof insulation is courtesy of a viewer, which is super awesome. They sent it to me in a super chat on a live, which was crazy, just mind blowing for me. The generosity of people have been just unbelievable through this entire project. I've got a 3-day weekend again this weekend. January is real slow, as far as retail sales and grocery go. People are done partying and all that fun stuff. So I've got a guy that works as a backup for me. And if I take a vacation day every week, we'll both get 4 days a week. If I don't take the vacation day, he only gets 3 days. So that's why I'm burning the vacation days. That, and I have a whole bunch of them on the books because I really don't usually take vacations. But I've got a vacation day this week and a vacation day next week, and by the end of next weekend, I will be entirely dried in vapor barrier wise. I'll be 100% done. I'm still running around in my head how I'm going to do the vapor barrier in the loft section. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't have made any difference how I laid it out. I mean, I guess I could have put a ledger board in there and then just rested it on the ledger board, or put it on the ledger board with brackets, with the metal hangers. But I like the design. I like the way that I built it, so I'll have to get a little creative with that. I need to pick up a couple of cans of foam as well, so 9 rolls of insulation, probably 3 or 4 cans of foam, because this will get me all the way to the end wall, the front wall, which will mean that I have to close all that in with foam because I haven't. And then I have the one rafter block at the end in that front corner that for whatever reason we kept forgetting to install. When Todd and Brian were helping me, they were doing all the rafter blocks, and they forgot to do that one for whatever reason. And then Todd and I looked at it and said, well, we're hanging the, we're getting ready to do the roof. Todd goes, yeah, we'll want to put that in before we put the roof. We just keep forgetting the stupid thing. At this point, it's kind of a joke, a funny joke, haha. But I got that to do, and then foam everything else in on the front, and then we'll have to see how it maintains its heat, how it holds warmth. So today I might also pick up a temperature gauge for the cabin. Every day gets me closer and closer to moving in. Every day gets me closer to moving in. Fun. Here's how dark it is right now. Exactly 8:30 in the morning. The sun will be up in probably about an hour. You'll have daylight, but it's not supposed to actually be up till 10 o'clock this morning. And it's 13 degrees Fahrenheit. So the good news is I got all the insulation that I need to finish this evening. But the bad news is that the insulation that I was using from the orange store, they only had 6 out of the 9 rolls that I needed. Straighten this out here. So I took the 6 that I needed, and then I went over to I will call it the grain store, SBS. Told them what I needed, and unfortunately, while they did have it, it's in 4-foot sections, but there's plenty of bats per section, so there's like 13, which means each one of the bats will do an entire bay. But the price for each bay went from $43 to $106. So those last 3 cost me the same price, or cost me more than the other 6 that I got at the orange store. Crazy. And honestly, that's why I don't use SBS that often. The prices there are just, they can't even get remotely close to the prices of the orange store, Home Depot. But I couldn't wait, because they weren't getting the R30 rolls that I'm using. They weren't going to get those in at the orange store until like February, mid-February, and it was going to leave me 3 short. And I'm tired of this. I need to get this done. Anyway, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Sun's up. Let me show you. It's on its way up anyway. I have a lot more insulation in the back of this truck than I thought I was going to have. All right, we're going to head on over to Safeway. It's Friday, and they have a $5 Friday special on tri-tips. I haven't done one in a while, so I thought I'd throw one on the Weber grill this weekend. Do my famous tri-tip. Then I got my famous tri-tip sandwiches when I'm done. Yum, yum, yum. Pick a few things up for dinner for this weekend. This is what I've been using so far on the ceiling, and this is what I had to get to replace it because I was 3 rolls short. But each one of these has 13 bats in it, so at 4 feet each. So basically, I need 3, 6. I might have got too much. Good, I can take them back. I'm not worried about that. But it's 10 inches deep as opposed to the 9 inches deep, and it's 16 inches wide as opposed to the 40, or as opposed to the 15 inches wide. Should still fit in there, no problem at all. If anything, it'll hold in there a little bit better. But I'm going to play with this stuff first. I need to keep enough of the... I'm going to have to worry about the first 6 bays here being all pink, and then the middle ones where I'm working. Right now, I'm just going to use this stuff and shove it up in there. So, do the math on this again. Oh. How to install. I could probably ignore that, I would think. It's so cool the way that opens. A little different. It's a different brand of insulation as well. So I figure I need, it'll actually be easier to do this with smaller pieces. Figure what I'll do is I'll take up, since I have to cover 3 bays, I'll take up 6 pieces. So I'll put the 3 on this side, I'll put the 3 on the other side, and then I'll work the next section down low with the ladder, and then the final section down low with the ladder as well, or the scaffolding, because I'm thinking I'm going to move the scaffolding over here to work across the top section. I'm going to need it out here anyway. Cool, and I don't need to cut anymore. Oh. go with that to begin with. I'm wearing the goggles today because I don't want this junk in my eyes. Alright, got all the scaffolding moved forward to the wall so that I can finish these last 3 bays. But before I finish these bays, there's some foaming I have to do up along the peak, and then down the side here. I'm sure you can see the daylight coming through over there. All amateur stuff, right? But I'm standing in here in shirt sleeves, and I've got, like I said, all but 3 left, all but 3 done. It's about 4 o'clock now. I'm going to call it a day. Get inside and cook me up some dinner and relax a little bit. Very satisfied. Very satisfied with where I'm at right now. Super cool. These days are numbered, buddy. These days are numbered. Oh, it's dark in here this morning. Oh. Just fired up the generator. It takes a minute before the power comes on. Oh. There we go. We have light. Awesome. I came in here this morning at about, I don't know, 6:30 this morning and fired up the heaters to get them warmed up in here. Obviously the cabin didn't hold heat all night long. That would have been way too much to ask. And I still have those last 3 bays to finish off, and then I have to also finish off the gable on the front end as far as insulation goes. But today I am going to pull this scaffolding out because I need to get access comfortable access to the top rafter so I could finish that last piece of blocking that I didn't get in when we were building originally, and that's going to be a pain in the neck because I didn't do it earlier. But it is, I don't know, 9:30 this morning. It's probably about 10 or 12 degrees outside. It's warming up quite comfortably in here. I've only got the one hoodie on, and it's snowing, but not much. We'll get a little bit of snow today. Oh, it's crazy seeing what this place looks like with all the insulation in here and with a light on. The generator actually runs pretty well. I think I probably used about 2 gallons of fuel yesterday, and I did have that thing running for, I don't know, 6 hours, 7 hours, maybe a little bit more. But I'll be using it today for the compressor, the nail gun, that kind of stuff, because I do need to nail the collar ties up to the top, and then I need to get the blocking done on the rafter. This should be my last day of ceiling insulation. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to work for as long as I can to get as far ahead as I can. Had some issues with muscle cramps again last night, and got to thinking to myself, I really haven't been taking the magnesium lately, but you know, as you saw earlier in this video, up and down on the ladder massive quantities of times doing this Stairmaster. So I need to look at, I think, a higher dose of something that I'll be taking every single day, because my diet's not that great to begin with, and I am 60 years old, so I probably need a supplement or 3. But yeah, I was like, I was sitting down last night and I was watching a little bit of Raspberry Rock off grid, and all of a sudden, man, my right leg like a Charlie horse. I'm all, But I slammed down some magnesium, did another dose this morning, so hopefully it feels loosened up. It feels pretty good right now. Hopefully we won't be going through that issue again. You know, the one thing I never thought I would have be an issue while I was doing this was muscle cramping. I figured muscle fatigue, which there's been a lot of. I figured a lot of aches and pains, which there's been a lot of. But I'm a pretty flexible guy because my work has been pretty physical most of my life. Just crazy. All right, let's clear this thing off and get it moved over to here. I'm gonna need probably about that much. Todd stopped by today to help me start hanging vapor barrier, but I'm looking at this and I just realized that I really can't hang the vapor barrier. I mean, I can get it started, but I can't do anything on this wall until I get it insulated. But that is the entire ceiling insulated and done. And I'm not going to lie, up on top of this ladder here, it's probably about 85 degrees. Say cheese, Todd. there?
Yeah, you're kind of that side of the middle.
Good, that's where I want to be.
On the far end, you're about in the middle. Go ahead and climb up and on it. There you go.
Really? could get very used to this. We got the vapor barrier put up yesterday on this side. We're going to do the vapor barrier on that side today. And that will cover basically all the vapor barrier needs for the ceiling. At which point I'm going to put the insulation in here on the ends. I picked up a couple of bales of R21 again today. Took back 3 of the other bales. Boy, I tell you what, returning something at the orange store is pretty freaking simple. And then I'm going to go live from the loft, which is going to be super, super cool. So yeah, we're going to get all that done today. But walking into here, having it as nice and warm as it is right now, and it wasn't this morning. It was warmer inside this morning than it was outside. But I turned the heaters on before I went to town again, so it warmed up in here pretty quick. But yeah, I'm going to get some stuff started right now. See if I can't get a couple of bats of insulation in on this wall over here first before we get. And I did not secure the plastic on this end yet because I need to be able to slide bats of insulation up in there. Todd's going to come by and give me a hand with this other half again. So yeah, super, super cool. I guess I'll have to take that top off before I pull the scaffolding out, but we're real close to scaffolding and everything being gone. Oh man, it is warm up here. I'm gonna need to get a fan, blow some of this heat down. So all of these are 16-inch on center, except for these middle ones here, and they're actually 16-inch on center from this center piece, but they're off by 1.5 inches. So I got 13 inches, I got 14.5 inches, so I'm going to need to rip the first 2 down to 13 inches so that I can get those to fit in there properly. I've watched a couple of videos on installation of insulation, and one of the things that keeps popping up again and again is just don't shove the piece in there. Now I'm guilty of that on these end caps. We'll see if that makes that much of a difference. But basically it's saying, look, cut the piece to the size you need it to be. Use the tabs on it to staple it off. But when you compress that stuff, you lose the R value in it, because part of the R value is the fact that there's so much airspace in that insulation itself. If I compress it, you defeat all that. So we're going to go ahead and get these pieces ripped down. I should check while I'm up here. So from there, that's 6 foot and change, and that's still under 7 foot. So this will take almost a full piece. This will take almost a full piece. This I might be able to get part of the small one out on it, on the same thing over there, and then the next one should be both. I wasn't sure if I was going to need 2 bales or not, but I got them anyway, and I may have extra, but that's fine because I can use some underneath. Insulation on the front gable is done. The entire roof, the entire cabin is officially completely insulated. Todd's over again today. I got a live going on at 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's 11 now. We're going to try and get another piece of vapor barrier up on the ceiling. But it's warming up fast in here. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now. Todd's wearing light clothing. He said he was going to wear short pants over here, but then I'd have to block all that out, because if I can't wear the kilt, he can't wear short pants. And just to prove literally a t-shirt, I had that light hoodie on earlier today, and it's just not required. It's so much nicer in here. It's crazy. It was, what's the temperature when you came over, Todd?
It was about 15.
Yeah, 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which would put us, what, probably about 12 or negative 12 Celsius, right around. Yeah, probably around there.